जैसे उधर से ट्रंप ने एक इशारा किया, फोन उठाया, कहा मोदी जी क्या कर रहे हो, नरेंद्र सरेंडर, और जी हजूर करके नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने ट्रंप के इशारे का पालन किया। फोन उठाया, कहा मोदी जी क्या कर रहे हो, नरेंद्र सरेंडर, और जी हजूर करके नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने ट्रंप के इशारे का पालन किया।
Viewers, Rahul Gandhi trying to play to the gallery of Darbaris who will clap even if Rahul Gandhi does not make sense. Let's try and understand the delusion at work here. Viewers, Rahul Gandhi, in his attempt to score political points, has waded into dangerous waters, invoking the 1971 war to glorify his grandmother Indira Gandhi while conveniently sidelining the real heroes, our armed forces. Viewers, let's set the record straight. 1971 was a triumph of India's soldiers who fought with unmatched courage to secure one of the greatest military victories in our history. But to reduce that to a family legacy is disrespectful, plain and simple, just that. Rahul Gandhi seems to think history begins and ends with the Congress dynasty. He is still living in the past and thinks Indira is India and India is Indira. Viewers, if anyone knows surrender, it's the Congress party. Rahul's grandmother did not just surrender democracy in 1975. She butchered it. The emergency locked up India, gagged the press and crushed freedom. That's not leadership, viewers. That's cowardice. Rahul Gandhi's great-grandfather, Nehru, he surrendered India's spine, India's pride, dragging Kashmir to the UN and making our fight a global mess. And look what we are doing, we're still paying for it. And Rahul himself has the nerve to talk surrender. Look at this picture. 1971 is a picture of Pakistan's surrender to India. General Niazi signing the surrender papers. And in 2008, Rahul, when you signed shady deals with China, secret, spineless and still stinking, what was that? Maybe Rahul Gandhi has forgotten that he lives in a glass house and he should not be throwing stones. Viewers, what's more, Rahul's own Congress colleagues, senior leaders like Shashi Tharoor, Salman Khurshid, Manish Tiwari have publicly clarified that India has not surrendered in any way. They have stood by the government's actions, recognizing that diplomacy and strategy are not about chest thumping, but about protecting national interest. Like Salman Khurshid said, how difficult is it to embrace patriotism? Viewers, if Rahul has a bone to pick with the RSS or the BJP, he would do well to listen to his own party's voices of reason instead of, chasing headlines with reckless rhetoric with this rhyme scheme that he thinks will get him some applause. And viewers, to the opposition parties trying foul, claiming that public has been kept in the dark, which is why need for a special parliament session. Let's get the facts straight up. The External Affairs Minister has briefed representatives from all parties on the ceasefire developments. Every major stakeholder was in the room, informed and engaged. To suggest otherwise is to peddle a narrative that insults the transparency of the process and the intelligence of the Indian people. And look, those who are invoking the will of the people now to ask for a special session of parliament are the same who mock the third term or the mandate that Prime Minister Modi has. Rahul Gandhi and his cheerleaders must know that this is the new India that does not surrender to either dynasty or delusion.
जैसे उधर से ट्रंप ने एक इशारा किया, फोन उठाया, कहा मोदी जी क्या कर रहे हो, नरेंद्र सरेंडर, और जी हजूर करके नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने ट्रंप के इशारे का पालन किया। ये फर्क है। इनका कैरेक्टर है ये सारे के सारे ऐसे हैं। कांग्रेस पार्टी सरेंडर नहीं होती है। गांधी जी, जवाहरलाल नेहरू, सरदार पटेल, ये सरेंडर वाले लोग नहीं हैं। ये सुपर पावर से लड़ने वाले लोग हैं।
Let's open this up. Tuhin Sinha, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Tausifur Rahman, Spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. Sanjay Jha, Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Anish Gawande, National Spokesperson of the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. Dr. Nimi Rastogi, Spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. And Ravi Srivastav completes this panel. Sanjay Jha, Rahul Gandhi is talking about 1971. You heard the, catchy slogan that he has for Congress workers, Narendra Surrender. But Rahul Gandhi forgets the surrender that was emergency, the surrender that was taking Kashmir to the UN. And if Rahul Gandhi really believes in the valor of forces, he should then be applauding Operation Sindoor, which he is not.
Pranesh, good evening to you and to all the other panelists on your program today. Let's dive into it without wasting any time. First, the fundamental factors that we should not ignore. I think General Chauhan, the CDS of our country, speaking on behalf of our country, said that yes, certain jets of ours were shot down. And just because he said that, he has not done our country any disservice. He's a man in uniform, a distinguished soldier who just basically was pragmatic and practical enough to say that in battle, there are losses. That's what even the Director General Air Operations had said earlier. The problem that you have with the current ruling dispensation is that every time a fault of this government is pointed out, they call the messenger an anti-national. Let me remind you, Rahul Gandhi calling Narendra Modi Narendra Surrender, that's his viewpoint. He's the leader of the opposition. He's got a fundamental right, whether you agree or disagree with him, in terms of what he thinks is the Prime Minister's handling of the entire post-Pahalgam massacre response by India. But do you remember that when 26/11 was still happening, outside on Marine Drive, which is not very far from where I stay, the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, who happens to be the current Prime Minister, while the terror attack was still on, was literally lambasting, castigating Dr. Manmohan Singh and India's government. Nobody called him from our party as an anti-national. When the BJP ran an election campaign, Pranesh, you should know this, they had posters 2 days after 26/11. Posters that criticized Manmohan Singh's government and the Congress and said vote BJP because the Delhi and Rajasthan assembly elections were on. It was shameless, it was vulgar, it was crude. The people of India responded to that. The Congress party did not call BJP anti-national or Narendra Modi as playing anti-national politics. I think we should rise above this very petty debate that every time...
Petty debate, Sanjay Jha, rise we must. No, say that to Rahul Gandhi. And by the way, what were you thinking when you said that you stay, in Marine Drive? That is the Lutyens of Bombay. So, you have the Bombay Lutyens backing the Lutyens of Delhi. That is it. It does not in any way make the argument stronger. But you did not answer the question I was asking. You see, Anish is smiling. The question is, why is Rahul Gandhi mocking the valor of our forces? Why can he not listen to Tharoor, Tiwari, Khurshid? They're all your friends. I mean, you're more friendly with all these, the three that I have named, than Rahul Gandhi.
I'm glad you asked me that question, but first, since you made a very snide remark, you know why I mentioned that?
I was only putting things in context. That's not a snide remark. Listen, I don't grudge you your address. It's good that you stay in Marine Drive. I'm happy.
It doesn't matter. I will respond to it, and I'll tell you what my response is. It's okay. You are an anchor. You have a right to ask me any question you like. I wanted to tell you that because we knew the gravitas, the absolute dastardly environment that was prevalent there at first hand. That was my message, by the way. Incidentally, the one who lives in Lutyens, Delhi right now is Prime Minister Modi, but let's not go into that.
No, his job keeps him there. No, 1 minute. His job keeps him there, Sanjay Jha. You know, now this is whataboutery. Let's not reduce it. And by the way, if you knew the seriousness of 2611, you should have spoken to Shivraj Patil then, who was changing clothes. So wo to chhodi dijiye. Let's get in the BJP now. Tuhin Sinha, respond to this Narendra Surrender attack by Rahul Gandhi.
Good evening, Pranesh. Good evening, everybody. You know, Rahul Gandhi's preposterous and obnoxious comments deriding our Prime Minister comes on a day when Pakistan dossier has come to light, a dossier which actually accepts that 8 more undisclosed targets have been completely decimated by India. So, you know, you need to look at the comments of Rahul Gandhi in the context of this dossier. They are clearly meant to give Pakistan an advantage, and I think with his comments today, especially the timing of it, Rahul Gandhi has proved he is India's 0.5 front. The 0.5 front which General Bipin Rawat had once talked about, and such people, mind you, are more dangerous than the enemy nation. You know, I would like to take you back 2 weeks, just 2 weeks ago, when he started questioning the External Affairs Minister, maliciously distorting his comments, when the DGMO had made corroborative comments to the same, you know, about informing the Pakistani side after striking the terror bases, 9 terror bases. Again, he did that on a day when Indian delegations were ready to leave abroad, and the External Affairs Minister was heading on a 3-nation tour to Europe. So clearly, again, the timing was suspect. Again, it was, you know, clearly meant to provide India a disadvantage. I think, you know, we have given Congress a very long rope. Now is the time to ask some serious question. What is this wicked glee they derive in, you know, in knowing our speculated losses? I think have we seen them celebrate when you know, our DGMO lists out 11 PAF air bases which have been completely destroyed? You know, and one final point. They have been asking for a special session of Parliament. Now, after Rahul Gandhi's comments today, we will be all the more circumspect, all the more cautious about the special session of Parliament, because clearly their agenda is malified. Their agenda is malicious. They will make very preposterous statements again in Parliament. Clearly, you know, they want to be stars in the Pakistan media.
This is no reason to not have a special session of Parliament, Tuhin Sinha, because, you know, by this logic, you will never have a Parliament session because Rahul Gandhi and the Congress's mindset is not changing. I don't see it happening. The demand for a special session is fine, but I only have a problem with the reasons listed. That look, for these reasons you must have a special session of Parliament. Let's get in the TMC spokesperson, Tausifur Rahman. Mr. Rahman, your leader Abhishek Banerjee was part of one of the panel. TMC leaders were briefed by the External Affairs Minister, as were leaders of other political party. Then this letter that has been signed by leaders of 16 parties, TMC included, it says people were kept in the dark. How were people kept in the dark when leaders of the political parties were informed, briefed?
Good evening, Pranesh, and good evening to everyone. Pranesh, you know, we have to understand that, you know, we have exposed Pakistan and we have pinned down Pakistan. But at the same time, the government is responsible to the parliament and parliament is responsible to the people. That's why we are demanding a special session to the parliament. I don't understand where are we going wrong. It is not about that we are attacking BJP or Narendra Modi or the Home External Affairs. Nothing. We are not doing anything. But the people of India, they need to know what actually we have done. You know, if we have a special session, you know, we can expose Pakistan more clearly in front of 140 people, and they have that right. Mamata Banerjee has already made it clear that we stand firmly with the centre when it comes to security and nation interest. We will not say anything about Narendra Modi at this moment because it's about a national integrity. But at the same time, 140 crore Indians also have the right to know about the action taken by the elected government to keep the nation secure and fight against the terror. There is a distinction between opposing and demanding accountability. I don't understand where are we going wrong. I mean, if you want more time, you can absolutely take it. But there is no fuss, and I don't see any trouble if there is a special session. This is why we are terming it a special session. Unlike 26/11 attack, this time the terrorists are yet to be caught and eliminated. So naturally, many people want to know about the current status, and if they have been nabbed, why should this be construed as going against the government? Doesn't the government too want the terrorists
1
to
minute.
be
I
caught?
said, Tausifur Rahman, I said that, you can ask for a special session, but the reason cited in the letter, if you've read the letter, it says people were kept in the dark. The military briefed the people. The External Affairs Minister has spoken extensively on this. The panels that went abroad across the world, they have spoken. Abhishek Banerjee, said everything that Rahul Gandhi is not saying. So you are saying we pinned down Pakistan. Congress party, your alliance partner, is saying External Affairs Minister was some mukhbir who tipped off Pakistan and people ran away. How will you convince Rahul Gandhi?
Pranesh ji, I am not here for Rahul Gandhi. I am not here for the Congress. I simply said, again I'll say, we have pinned down Pakistan, we have exposed Pakistan, but the only thing we want special session.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Let's see if your alliance partners agree with that. Ravi Srivastav, do you agree with that we pinned down Pakistan? हमने उनको सबक सिखा दिया?
See, pin down is absolutely fine. We pinned down, no doubt. We made very targeted attacks on Pakistan. We have crippled them for a very long time. All these things are good.
अरे जब सब good है तो फिर surrender कहाँ हुआ? If everything is good, then what is this surrender?
You cannot deny the facts, Mr. Pranesh. The call came to Prime Minister. The call came to India. He declared a ceasefire. This is before the whole world. You keep on denying.
I think you know more than people who were part of the panel. No. I think you know more than people who were part of the panel. इसीलिए आप बोल रहे हैं call came, instruction was given. Excuse me. When will you stop this rhetoric? Sir, ये कब तक एक ही चीज 5 दिन से बोल रहे हैं? Call came. अब आपके नेता बोल रहे हैं surrender. आप मान भी रहे हैं कि हाँ we pinned down Pakistan. एक ही चीज सही होगा ना?
Now let me speak 2 lines about the delegation also. In my opinion, this whole delegation was a flop show.
Okay.
I'm summing it up. Because nothing has been achieved for India in this entire jamboree of 12 days, 5 nations, 59 people, different parties going out.
Oh, nothing achieved for India, you mean the country India or the alliance India? Which India are you referring to? Country India or alliance India?
I am referring to the country India.
Okay, country
I'm not
India.
talking about alliance right now.
Country India, sir. I know your heart bleeds for country India. अभी आएंगे उस पे भी, अभी तो first round है. Let's bring in the AAP spokesperson, Dr. Asdogi. Why didn't the Aam Aadmi Party attend this meeting, ma'am?
Pranesh, Aam Aadmi Party has its own mind, own strategy, own way of function and own decision-making authority. We are not towing anybody's line. We are a national party and we will do what is right for our people and for the party. Having said that, in response to whatever the panelists have said, it's amusing the way national Bharatiya Janata Party and government at center is going on defensive when opposition is asking certain legitimate questions. Because more you go on defensive, more there is, spelling.
What legitimate questions are you asking? Let's have let's have those questions. Bataiye.
Why what Trump had to do into this? So, I mean, why don't you just answer those questions in a sincere manner to shun all the voices? Just because you don't have the answers. You don't have all the answers. You're just politicizing. So, the whole thing, the Operation Sindoor, Ghar Ghar Sindoor, you're just stretching the whole thing beyond what even a chewing gum can take.
No, so do you believe there should be a special session of Parliament, Dr. Asdogi?
Absolutely.
Then why didn't you sign the letter? Why didn't you sign the letter then?
We are asking for a special session in our own capacity as an individual party. As you already know that we were with the India bloc only during the Lok Sabha elections. For every state election, for every forthcoming election.
Okay, that is breaking news then. Congratulations, Sanjay Jha, Ravi Srivastav. ये देखिए, 8 letter आपने लिखा, you've lost one partner. Now, let's bring in Anish Davande. Anish, Samajwadi Party, Sharad Pawar faction has been clear. I must give it to you. Sharad Pawar from day one has been saying, look, these are not the things that you discuss in parliament. It will happen when it has to. How do you see this attack by Rahul Gandhi, surrender, etc., etc.?
You know, Pranesh, let me start off by saying that we've always believed that when India is under attack, we respond as Indians and not as political parties. And let me remind you that Pawar Sahib is not just any other leader. He's been the defense minister of this country. In fact, it was under him that there was 11% reservation for women, which is why you have women like Colonel Sofia Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh leading India's response to the world and leading India's response to the horrific attack on Pahalgam. And so he says things sparsely but with care. The reason we've said we don't want a special session of parliament is because you're currently engaged in an information war, just as you're engaged in a conventional war. And statements can and will be taken out of context, including CDS Chauhan's statement recently, including what the leader of opposition has said, including, let me remind you, what several BJP leaders have also said. I think several people across party lines must recognize this right now, and the BJP is also complicit in this. To be putting the Prime Minister's face on railway tickets, and I think this is more a case of the courtiers being more loyal than the king, because I'm sure the Prime Minister would not have approved of it, to making statements calling the relatives of terrorists as army officers like Sofia Qureshi. The BJP has also played politics with this issue and must recognize that this is not the time to treat the opposition as the enemy
Okay,
either.
Tuhin, respond to that quickly. Dr. Ranganathan, you're next.
You know, Pradesh, for the last 2.5 weeks, the concerned person, the minister in Madhya Pradesh, has not been attending. He has been kept out of cabinet meetings. The entire matter is, cognizance has been taken by the Honorable Supreme Court, and action is very much due. So we have, unlike the Samajwadi Party, which has not even commented on Ram Gopal Yadav's dirty, casteist comments, we have very clearly made our intent known. And, you know, I don't think we should digress from the topic at all. Today is a very important day where Pakistan itself has conceded how big a defeat they have suffered. Why did Rahul Gandhi want to trivialize that defeat? I think that's a very important question which opposition parties, Indian
Tuhin, they are asking that question.
him.
But look, you know, every time this minister thing comes up, the BJP will have to show some action. This, you know, this thing about keeping him in waiting, that happens in promotions. When you don't have a, you know, post ready for someone, you keep that person in promotion. It's also used as a punishment. So in this case, you must send out a strong message. This, you know, keeping the mantri in waiting is not right. Not right for the ministry that he looks after. Dr. Ranganathan.
Good evening, Pranesh, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I think I will not be exaggerating here if I say that Rahul Gandhi is taking Congress where no one has taken Congress before. The facts prove it. He is one step away from making Congress not a party that represents Indians at all. What is going on out here, Pramesh? What is he actually trying to achieve by saying all what he is saying? Leave aside the fact that nothing that he has ever said is grounded on facts and logic. Right now what he's saying is actually the language of Pakistan. There is no other phrase to describe it. And since yesterday, because it's not just Rahul Gandhi, it's his lapdogs, his acolytes, and everyone from top to bottom in the Congress party is involved in this, trying to be spiteful about not the political party, not the BJP, not Modi, because they've been doing that for 11 years. It is the armed forces that they are attacking. Now, when he says that the head of 1.4 billion people has surrendered, what does he mean? That the head surrenders and our brave military armed forces just look on silently? Is that what he means? That they will keep quiet when a country like India has surrendered? Is this what he means? This is the problem with Rahul Gandhi, that he is surrounded by these lapdogs and acolytes who do not differentiate between what should be spoken and what should not be, what is the language of Indians and what is the language of the enemy. Now let me explain just 2 points out here. Leave aside the fact that he's not commended Narendra Modi, that's all right, of course he wouldn't, he doesn't need to as well. But the fact is, Operation Sindoor's brilliant success and this is one of the reasons why Rahul Gandhi is speaking the language that he is, it completely exposes the reason why Congress is spiteful towards Operation Sindoor and the people who orchestrated it. Because it exposes the inadequacies and incompetence short of bartering India over decades. You want me to give you two examples? Let me give you two examples. Operation Sindoor has repeatedly now, and I use the word repeatedly, called out Pakistan's nuclear bluff. Modi did it in Balakot strike. He's done it again now, and this time more spectacularly, hitting almost 24 targets deep inside Pakistan. To hell with the nuclear bluff. And you know, the Congress could never ever call out that same nuclear bluff. In fact, the then air chief is on record saying that they wanted to bomb Pak terror hideouts in the wake of 26/11, but were forbidden to do so by the then Congress Prime Minister. That was straight because of nuclear bluff. Number two, the Congress and Rahul Gandhi are embarrassed because the same Indus Water Treaty that was so lopsided against India, it's a miracle that we allowed those rivers to flow through us in the first place. Since 1960 was signed by the Congress. We almost gave away our land. We almost gave away our water. God knows whether air is still left with us or not. The reason why Congress is spiteful not just against Modi but against our brave armed forces is because it exposes the way it sold out India. Please understand that, Pranesh.
Sanjay Jha, look, the question every time you talk about, you said that within 2 days the BJP came out with posters. Within 2 days of Operation Sindoor, the Congress put out posters of Indira Gandhi and said, all hail Indira Gandhi. But the question will be asked, and that question is very simply this, that Indira Gandhi as Prime Minister ordered the operation against Bangladesh in 71. It was the political will that must be lauded, celebrated, etc., etc. Why are you not doing that in Operation Sindoor? Why?
Pranesh, just don't interrupt me. I'll take less than 1 minute. The reason why there has been a lot of speculation has been in the manner in which Donald Trump, the President of the United States, actually announced the ceasefire, went on record to say, which has been agreed to by Mr. Jaishankar, that J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio were in a hotline with the Indian government and the Pakistan establishment, and then the ceasefire is agreed to by India. I mean, that to me is a third-party intervention that we should all of us...
Third-party intervention?
I requested you not to interrupt me. Just hold your breath, man. It won't take too long. That is something that we should all be concerned about. And that is the reason why today there is concern. What do you mean by broad range of issues will be discussed at a neutral site? What did the Indian government commit to? What do you mean by saying that Kashmir is now something which is going to be up for conversation?
But who said that?
Do
you know who said that? Jawaharlal Nehru. Know the name. Sanjay Jha, which is why I was interrupting. Every time you say third party intervention, thoda mirror dekhna padega aapko. India, Pakistan and UN. UN was the third party. And you know who took Kashmir to UN? Pandit Nehru. Sanjay Jha, that is an established fact. You can't deny that. Dr. Ranganathan, third party.
No, it's not about Nehru or Indira or anybody else. Of course, we can revisit history. But here, my good friend Sanjay is factually incorrect. Because when he is attributing those remarks, acceptance to Dr. Jaishankar, he said exactly the opposite. He said America had no role to play. So Sanjay, please correct yourself. It is wrong for you to put words in Dr. Jaishankar's mouth when he was saying the exact opposite.
Go ahead, Sanjay Jha.
But here is the point. If you think about it, I think today, whether it's Kashmir, the announcement of the ceasefire, the whole hyphenation of India with Pakistan, and then you have a Deputy Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, that I must point out for the benefit of your viewers, who says that the Indian armed forces, I mean, that extraordinary valor doesn't matter to them, of course, to the BJP, bows before Prime Minister Modi. And if Operation Sindoor is still on, can I ask the BJP, what morality do you have, what decency do you have, that you're running a political campaign on Operation Sindoor? I mean, it cannot be more absurd. Is this a new normal? Is this what Indians have to suffer?
I'll get Tuhin Sinha to answer that question. But Sanjay Jha, here's my question that is still unanswered. You spoke about third party. I said Nehru took Kashmir to the UN. That was the third party blunder. And you want to believe Trump? Trump became Pope for a few moments, but he is not the Pope. He said, I have solved Russia-Ukraine war. Look what he's, landed the two countries at. So, don't go by Trump. Mr. Jha, 1 minute. 1 minute. That's not the question. That was only an explanation to why, to your blind faith in Donald Trump. My question is about Rahul Gandhi. The delegates, some of them were from the Congress party. The three people, you know who they were. Tharoor, Manish Tiwari, Khurshid. They are saying we didn't surrender. There was no ceasefire. Why is Rahul Gandhi saying ceasefire and surrender? Why?
Well, Pranesh, why don't you find out what the BJP's views are on Shashi Tharoor and Manish Tiwari, my good friend, and Salman Khurshid? They have used the ultimate aggressive and what I call as immoral slur against these three leaders. Just because they are part of the diplomatic offensive, it is an admission by the Modi government that they are not anti-national. No opposition party is anti-national because they question this government.
Let's assume Congress loves Shashi Tharoor more than the BJP. Okay? What has the Congress party done to Shashi Tharoor? Should I start reading out what your leaders have said about Shashi Tharoor? भूल जाते हैं आप लोग. सारी प्रॉब्लम घर में है, आप दूसरों को लेक्चर देने आ जाते हैं. संजय झा, मैं तो पूछूंगा. तुहिन सिन्हा will answer the question you asked, but you see 20 minutes have passed, you haven't answered one question. Tuhin, I'll come to you. You answer what Sanjay Jha had said, but let me bring in Tausifur Rahman for a quick, straightforward question. Tausifur Rahman, in the beginning, you kept India above politics. You said we pinned down Pakistan. When you hear, narratives like these, that we surrendered, how does that make you feel?
Pranesh, I never said that we surrendered something like that. I am not bringing...
No, I am not asking you that you said. When you hear people like Rahul Gandhi say that India surrendered.
Because you will bring India Alliance. India Alliance for us is during the election. Right now we don't have any election. Bengal election is 1 year away. And whatever election is coming right now, it is very simple. I have to keep politics above my country. It is as simple as that. Politics is nothing for me right now. Sindoor operation is very important. So this is what I wanted to ask Dr. Saab also. Hypothetically, I should agree with Ranganathan ji. Information and transparency is the need of the hour, Dr. Saab. It will not only send a strong message about the center stars, but it will also unmask the disinformation peddled by the Pakistan. Dr. Saab, am I right or not? And now when it comes to protecting national interests and ensuring the country's security, Trinamool Congress firmly stand with the center, speaking in one voice, however, questioning the whereabouts of the accused terrorists who brutally killed 26 people is demanding accountability. Now you will say that आपने 16 के साथ आपने साइन क्यों किया? भैया हमने सिर्फ साइन किया सेशन के लिए. अभी आप अलायंस की बात मत करो.
अरे सेशन के लिए तो साइन किया, लेकिन उसके ऊपर टेक्स्ट भी तो होगा. तौसीफ भाई, उसके ऊपर टेक्स्ट भी तो है, उसमें क्या लिखा हुआ है? Okay, but that's a question for Dr. Ranganathan. He is answering.
No, तौसीफ भाई इज अ वेरी डियर फ्रेंड, लेकिन मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि ये कह क्या गए. ये ईडी वगैरह की रेड का डर तो नहीं था कि ये बीजेपी ज्वाइन तो नहीं करने वाले. कह रहे हैं कि इंडिया अलायंस सिर्फ तौसीफ भाई, I did interrupt you, please. I was listening to this thing. What does he mean by saying that the India alliance is only during elections? Nothing can expose the alliance more than what Tausif Bhai has just done. These opportunistic alliances were supposed to take India to the, beyond 21st century. That they come together only for elections. Tausif Bhai,
Dr. Saab, अभी देखिए आप इसमें इंटरफेयर मैं नहीं करूंगा, मगर आप इसको घुमा.
Tell me if I am wrong. Pranesh, did he not say so?
Of course.
Did he not say so?
You are bringing India alliance right now. India, it's not about India alliance right now. It's about Sindoor operations.
नहीं, तौसीफुर रहमान, लेकिन आपने बोला जैसे डॉक्टर रस्तोगी ने बोला कि अलायंस हमारा लोकसभा तक था. आपने बोला कि जब इलेक्शन आएगा, अभी तो बंगाल इलेक्शन भी दूर है. आपने वो बोला, उसी पे
let's talk about Sindoor operations right now. Let's talk about the It is as simple as that.
No, that is fine, but he is only commenting on what you just said. तो ये आप बोल दीजिए कि मैंने गलत बोला. ये भी बोल
गलत की बात नहीं. I am just saying that we should not talk about politics right now. We just talk about India, national integrity, patriotism, and whatever BJP is doing right now, they should.
Patriotism, sir. Salman Khurshid has sent a veiled message to the Congress party. उन्होंने बोला embrace patriotism. अब पता नहीं वो मैसेज राहुल गांधी तक पहुंचा कि नहीं. But Tuhin Sinha, answer the question that Sanjay Jha asked.
I'll answer both, Sanjay Jha's query and one other query which I've just noted down. But, I'm glad you mentioned Salman Khurshid because, if you read his last line, he says, is it so difficult to be patriotic? Which in a way means that he has called Rahul Gandhi's Congress unpatriotic. Now, coming to Sanjay Jha, we have clarified time and again Trump's statement. And Trump himself has changed his statement on two or three occasions. Now, if Sanjay Jha and some members of the Congress party are unable to get it right, all Sanjay Jha needs to do is call up his friend Manish Tiwari. Manish Tiwari will exactly explain it to him. Why do you want to create this nuisance in this country where every day you give the impression that you trust Trump of all people more than the Indian Prime Minister, more than the Indian
Sanjay Jha is responding.
Minister,
But look, I will just say this before Sanjay Jha speaks. That if I had Manish, Manish Tiwari or Shashi Tharoor's number, and if they pick up the call, I would have called them, or loudspeaker mein main baat kar leta. Do they agree with, what Rahul Gandhi has said? I am sure, wo na bolte, but Sanjay Jha can perhaps do that.
No, anyway, I met Manish before he went for his trip, and I can tell you that the people within the Congress are brilliant and they are strategically intelligent, and I'm glad the BJP is recognizing what the Congress can bring to the national table. But let me just quote to you one thing, Pranesh, that puts this debate in perspective. I'm quoting to you General Chauhan in Singapore, and this is what he said. It is my personal view that the most rational people are people in uniform when a conflict takes place. And I think this is a message to Mr. Modi's government that leave the Indian armed forces alone. Don't politicize them. Let them speak with transparency on what's happening during the war and respect them. Please do not make political capital out of our armed forces. It hasn't been done in the past. You have started it since surgical strike, but in making a marketing gimmick of our military operations, you insult the armed forces, BJP, and you should stop doing it.
There are many people who've said things that I don't want to, repeat about armed forces. Some of them belong to the Congress party. One famous or infamous line is Sadak ke Gunde, said about people in uniform, Sanjay Jha. That's just for the record. You were saying that people in the Congress party are strategically brilliant. People outside the Congress party are also brilliant. I've been saying that the Congress must take you back. You are brilliant. But the Congress party, will not have it any other way. Aapko aise rakhna chahte suspended animation mein. I really mean it. You're brilliant, but you see, you're not in the party. You met Manish Tiwari before you went for the trip. You should be meeting Rahul Gandhi before he goes and delivers a speech. That's all. I just hope next time Rahul delivers a speech, you either speak to him or meet him in person. I thank some of you for joining on this one. Let's shift our attention, viewers.